助けてほしいかナナに。心を燃やせ。限界を超えろ。
Hello and welcome to More Than Headlines, your weekly anime news podcast powered by Audio Technica, made by Australians for global citizens. I'm your extremely humble host, Brenda White, aka the Salt and Pepper Senpai, and joining me in the studio, my trusted co-host and rival, Levi, to my Hanjay, Mrs. Courtney Smith. How the bloody hell are ya?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. A little bit behind the curtain because we are nothing but open and honest here on this podcast. This is our second go around at recording this episode, so I feel it's going to be bigger, badder, and better than the previous because we had some technical gremlins that did not want to leave us alone, apparently.
But that's okay because it has given me an opportunity to have a bit of show and tell this episode, Brendan.
I love this. See, you haven't told me about this until just now, so I'm learning live with you guys, Sugoi Squad. So this is going to be very exciting. Is this like the end of the episode, or is this right now?
This is right now. I have show and tell.
Okay.
Because we have an announcement at the end. So right now, show and tell. So I have this creature.
Banana cat.
It's meme banana cat crying. For those of you who are listening, it's a plush banana crying meme cat in Japan. These are really popular. This meme cat, and they call it neko meme.
Okay.
Is what it's called, cat meme. And if you go to Japan right now, you'll find these in like every vending machine, every store. They are so popular over there. So I wanted to do a show and tell of my neko meme.
Yeah, it's pretty great. Like, and for the audio-based listeners, it is like a cartoonish looking banana, but like the face of the banana with the cat, it's like a real photo of a cat, but they've sort of edited it so it's got crying eyes and tears. So it's like a real looking cat face on a cartoon banana with humanoid features with arms and legs. So
yeah,
and what did you say? Neko
meme.
Neko meme.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes, God,
yeah.
I'm getting,
cat meme.
I'm almost fluent. Cat meme, there you go.
Yeah.
I have nothing to show and tell because I'm clearly very underprepared, but we've got lots of things to talk about on this podcast. We've got a ton of anime news that we're going to be digging through, as well as, I guess, initial or early reactions from the winter season to date. We are transitioning now into episode 2 or 3, depending on where we are with the cycle on some of these anime. I think collectively we're going to be sort of skimming over at least 24 to 25 different anime today. It's not going to be deep dive on them all. It might just be like, is this a good, is this a bad, what do we think, sort of high level stuff, but we will go deeper on some of our more favorite titles so far in the winter season.
Yes.
It's going to be a good time, but let's do as we always do here.
You like the news?
Whew. That woke me up. I've been struggling. I've had 7.5 minutes of sleep today, so that drop just now, that has just reinvigorated me to sort of fly through this podcast.
I thought you were going to say you've had 7.5 coffees, and I was like, you should go to hospital.
I've had four today. And that, like, I'm usually like a 2 or 3 a day is sort of my internal cap. But because I'm running off a couple hours of sleep, I've needed them hard and I've needed them fast and I've needed them often. So it's a slippery slope. I nearly had number 5 to sort of see me through this episode recording, but like I was telling Courtney before, I was scared it might make me shit myself. So I'm just on the fantastic dash water that certainly do not act as a laxative. This just makes you feel good. There's no sugars. There's no artificial flavors. Just a can full of taste.
Bubbly in your mouth.
I love bubbles in my mouth. Anyway.
Me too. Let's talk about the news. First story here is Crunchyroll and Sony Pictures Entertainment are bringing Attack on Titan: The Last Attack to Australian cinemas on February 6th for 1 week only. The film puts the last 2 episodes of the series together so you can enjoy them in a comfy seat at the movies.
Very, very exciting times, but also very emotionally intimidating times, I have to say, Courtney. I love Attack on Titan, and I feel collectively the story from episode 1 right through to completion is one of probably the most powerful and impactful stories that I've witnessed in anime in the last decade to 2 decades of my viewing. I really enjoyed how it wrapped up. It was very emotional and very raw and very traumatic. So I'm worried how I'm going to go handling seeing these giant titans and these big deaths and big loves and big losses right there on a giant, like 200 or how many inches is a cinema screen? It's way more than 200 inches. Like, it's big, giant, big screen, big titan, big scaries. But
Big.
I feel the trauma will be nicely offset in the cinema by some toasty, warm, buttery, salty, fresh popcorn, accompanied by a delicious boysenberry choc top. Have you got a choc top flavor of choice, Courtney?
I'm a fan of boysenberry as
Yes.
well. I think because that's what I grew up with, right? But usually when I'm at the cinema, I don't get a choc top. My snacks of choice are popcorn, obviously, salted, buttered, whatever it is, perfect, and a box of Maltesers. That is, for me, the ultimate combo. Though I was talking to a friend and she told me she puts the Maltesers in the hot popcorn and then just like sticks her whole hand in there. And I was like, I'm not going to judge, but you're going to walk out looking like you got poopy on your hand.
Yeah. She had too many coffees before the movie. Who knows? Like, I love sweet and savory. Like, anyone that is like on the fence of mixing those flavors, take a chance, live a little. Come on, it's fantastic. And I am a big fan of buying chocolates and mixing them with popcorn. I won't pour them through the popcorn because I don't want it to become a big poopy, goopy mess. But I typically lean peanut M&Ms. So I'll get a peanut M&M or two in my hand, a couple of bits of popcorn, throw it in there and have a good time because it's like a tasty, salty, sweet cocktail of goodness. And I'm all about, I haven't tried it with Maltesers. I need to next time I go.
You got to do it. Just get a bit of everything.
Yeah, and a soda too. Like, I am all in. Like, it cost me about $7 million to go to the cinemas these days, but it's well worth it because cinema popcorn is one of the best things on planet Earth to consume, especially if it's fresh out of the hopper.
Yeah. I'm excited for this Attack on Titan film release though, because as you know, I'm a huge fan of anime getting theatrical releases, but I actually have to come clean here, Brendan, because I've only seen the first 2 seasons of Attack on Titan.
Oh boy.
So I need to hurry up and watch the last 2 seasons before I get to experience this.
You need to hurry the hell up, stat. It is airing in the cinemas in a little over 2 weeks, and you've got a couple of seasons worth of trauma and heartbreak to navigate through between now and then. Are you committing right now on the podcast that you are going to work your way through that before the cinema viewing experience? Or are you just going to go in blind and go, you know what, I made it halfway through season 3. I'm just jumping into the movie and whatever will be, will be.
No, I'm gonna do it. I'm committing right now. This is my vow. Father, son, anime spirit. I will finish the last 2 seasons and then go and see this in the movies.
Praise be. I guess just sort of looking ahead, episode 33 is probably going to be very dire tonally because Courtney is going to be going through it. And episode 34 might be more of the same. So if there is a bit of a like energetic downshift in future episodes, listeners, you know why, because she's living it. She's right there with Eren Yeager and co dealing with all that pain.
I'm ready.
I'm not. But you know what? We'll be there to support you emotionally as you navigate this trying time. Something that's a little less trying, but a little exciting. PA Works, the studio behind titles such as Your Boy Kong Ming, Skip and Loafer, and Angel Beats, has announced that it's producing the first anime film adaptation of Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland. It's being directed by Black Butler's Toshiya Shinohara and scripted by Blue Box and Urusei Yatsura's Yuki Kakihara. The film will open in Japan on August 29th, and I'm already crossing my fingers that we get another Australian cinematic release because more popcorn, more boysenberry choc tops, good times.
This is a really movie-focused episode of More Than Headlines. I just realized.
Yeah, I just did too. Our third story, like minor spoilers, is also film-related.
Yeah.
So there you go.
In terms of the Alice in Wonderland anime adaptation, though, I really associate this, I guess, IP with the classic Disney film adaptation. So I'm excited to see how the anime film will bring a fresh perspective. I wonder if they'll change much compared to Disney. I haven't read the Lewis Carroll book, so I'm just going in based off of my Disney knowledge. But this does remind me of Studio Ghibli's Howl's Moving Castle in a way, because that film is based off of a novel of the same name as well that's written by a Welsh author.
It's exciting, and like sort of when I was reading up on this a little bit before recording, like Alice in Wonderland at its core is an isekai. Like, this girl does get transported into a fantasy world. I am an isekai apologist. You definitely are not. So I'm open to this. I enjoy this world. I feel it will translate really well to have a bit of an Eastern influence on it. Some of the movies, the original Disney film certainly is the one that sticks out the most. The most recent live action ones with Johnny Depp doing his thing, you know, it was a visual feast. Do I care much for Johnny Depp? Not so much. But like, you know what? It is what it is. It's fine. Helena Bonham Carter is doing her crazy thing, and I have a lot of fandom behind her. But like, the story's cool. We do see a lot of adaptation happening with Alice, like the Alice Madness Returns video game. Shout out to that. I think it's fantastic. It's one of the best, if we want to say, fairy tale based video games out, to my recollection. And I feel that, yeah, it will translate really well to the anime vibe, knowing we've got PA Works, one of my favorite studios in the game, helming the animation, and then also a lot of big time industry heavyweights sort of handling the story. I'm quietly optimistic that this is going to be enjoyable, and I'm looking forward to potentially sitting in a big comfy chair in VMAX and getting my hands like covered in Malteser and popcorn dust. So let's go.
So stick your whole hand in a chalk top.
Yeah, just whole hand in there. Just chuck that right in the popcorn box as well.
And if you hadn't filled up on popcorn and choc tops and Maltesers already, you can go back to the movies again, because Studio 4 Degrees Celsius has announced a new anime original film titled ChaO. The film was announced at Toei's 2025-2026 lineup press conference earlier this week, and Oricon News reported that the film is hand-drawn and Studio 4 Degrees Celsius has been working on it in secret for the past 7 years.
I love a good secret drop. The film is described as being set in a future society where humans and mermaids coexist. Stephen, an office worker, is suddenly proposed to by ChaO, a princess of the mermaid kingdom. What? This is 100% a pure love story. That line there in itself gets to me the most. But the film is going to premiere later this year, hopefully in Australian cinemas again. So we can maybe buy some novelty popcorn buckets and have a good time watching this human-mermaid relationship develop and flourish.
It really reminds me of Ponyo, which is my favorite Ghibli film. But as far as the key art goes, it looks like it's going to be really, really cute and really, really pretty. And both of us on More Than Headlines are suckers for a good romance anime. So I'm really looking forward to ChaO's release.
You and me both. And yeah, completely agree with you on the Ponyo vibes. But I also think of a couple of recent watches that I've checked out on Netflix. A Lull in the Sea and Bubble have similar stories, similar sort of stakes, different art styles, but still both pieces of content I really enjoyed. So I'm optimistic. Like, the eternal hopeless romantic in me has, positives towards anything love related. And yeah, the fact that they're using the term pure love story, like, I don't think I've seen those three words referenced in a synopsis or sort of like a byline for a piece of media in a while. So yeah, that sort of three words have got me hook, line and sinker. So let's see what happens when this drops later this year. And knowing that it's been getting worked on for 7 years, I feel the animation and that art is just going to blow some minds.
Yeah, I'm very, very excited. Go and check out the key art, guys, if you haven't. It is just beautiful. But let's get into some rapid fire news presented by Otaku Box. The first one is that the Sydney Manga and Anime Show, also known as SMASH, has announced its dates for 2025 from July 12th to 13th in Sydney this year.
Very exciting.
We are definitely going to be there. I'm really looking forward to it. I actually met the Smash trivia crew when I was doing anime trivia last year, and they were great. So I'm excited to get back in contact with them. And some other news, which we have a surprise about later too, is that Sugoiko is bringing Oshinoko, the final act, to Australian cinemas on January 30.
Aren't Sugoiko just the best? Like, they are doing anime gods work every other day here, bringing all these fantastic releases and titles to our shores. So I'm tipping my invisible hat to Sly and the team right now, because they are making me and you and all us anime fans constantly happy with the slew of releases and support they're dropping. And I'm looking forward to checking out Oshinoko in a live environment. Like, I'm such a sucker for the anime and the manga, and I love that story, but I'm still like cautiously fence sitting if the live action will translate the same way that the anime has so far. So I'm going to reserve judgment till I get to cop it in the cinemas in the next week and a bit. But I'm still excited for it because it's one of my favorite stories that I've consumed in the last couple of years.
Yeah, you've finished the manga, right, Brendan?
I have indeed, yeah.
I'm wondering, because I've only watched obviously seasons 1 and 2 of the anime, do you think that this film will be able to wrap up the story in a way that kind of matches the manga?
I really don't. And that's my worrying part. Like the story is long and vast and dramatic and exuberant and all these other cool words that I could sort of throw in on the back of that. And I'm scared that trying to condense 200 plus chapters into a couple of hours worth of film is going to be too tall a task to adequately sort of translate those panels. So I feel when it's all said and done, the anime, especially if it stays to the same standard that Doga Kobo has been delivering the first 2 seasons, will be probably the best way to sort of consume this story. But who knows? It could surprise us. I'm just worried because, especially like we were sort of talking throughout last season with season 2, seeing some of the animation transitions and artistic effects they had going on in certain scenes, how's that going to translate to live action? And that's where I'm worried, because it might just be some janky CG where I'm just like, oh boy, like not good. But I'm remaining optimistic because it's getting a big push from sort of the PR and marketing side of things. So hopefully that means it's going to be a good time in the cinemas.
Yeah, at least even if it doesn't cover everything, I am sure it'll be a good watch. But let's talk about what we've been watching this week. And Brendan, I'm going to throw to you because you have really put yourself in the deep end and watched so much anime. I'm going to jump in here and there where I've watched things. And other than that, talk us through your experience this week.
I am a sicko, if those listening or watching haven't already gathered. I have been working my way through 24 different anime so far in this winter season. And what I've done, I've sort of ranked them from 24 through to 1, but then I've sort of subcategorized them into 5 very specific, quantified and over-examined metrics that I'm going to sort of call bad, mid, good, great, or amaze. So that's sort of my 5 tiers. And I'm going to sort of work my way through from bad all the way through to amaze. And just because something's bad, there still could be some good parts of it too. Like, I'm not saying avoid like the plague type of vibe. It's just my overall viewing and enjoyment from this ties into those 5 very, very scientific metrics. So yeah, bad, mid, good, great, and amaze is how I'm going to sort of work my way through here. And yeah, as Courtney mentioned, she's been watching some of these as well, and maybe she might or might not agree with where I've put them in the 5 means of measurement here, but she'll share her thoughts as we go as well, because we know she doesn't always like ranking things or putting a score to it. So she'll give us her heartfelt thoughts and opinions as we go through too. So, all right, scrolling right to the bottom of my list, I've got at number 24, Grisaya Phantom Trigger, coming in firmly as a bad for me. It feels like an early miss because I was talking it up a little bit leading up to the winter season drop, because it did give me some real Licorice Recall vibes. I'm very happy we're getting a Licorice Recall movie on the way later this year, so I will sort of have that itch scratched correctly, as opposed to here where it's probably festered into some type of wound. So Grisaya Phantom Trigger, bad, 24 on my list. Moving up to 23, bad and disappointing again, Zenshu I've got as my second least enjoyed anime so far of the year. Apart from the redraw ability scenes, which I find are stunning, and you can really see Mappa flexing those animation-based muscles, I could not give a rat's ass about the rest of the story. And the stupid unicorn in this anime, the sooner that thing gets killed off, the better, because it is a detriment to this subpar story and making it worse in every scene that stupid little bastard is in. So yeah, Zenshu is my 23. You've been copping it too though, right?
Yeah, first of all, I'm 100% with you on that unicorn. They should make like unicorn soup with him or something, please. But episode 2 was definitely more interesting than episode 1. It has a really childish vibe, like it is a kid's anime. I think it'll either continue on this trajectory and, we're not going to really vibe with it, it's just not for us, or My other theory is that it's gonna do a full 180 and turn really, really dark, like Madoka Magica did with episode, I think it was episode 3, where it just like flips the script entirely. That's what I'm hoping for, but we'll see.
I hope so too. Otherwise, this anime, I feel like it's doomed. Like if it continues with the same tone and pacing and just shit storytelling, like it is going to be one of the biggest misses from MAPPA that I can remember. Yeah, moving up to 22, I've got this in the mid tier just because like it's still early days. It's certainly carried by an absolute banger of an ED called Matsuken Samba. It is just a toe tapper and it's so well animated and it really sort of redeemed a very underwhelming first episode that I've checked out. And the anime, from bureaucrat to villainess, dad's being reincarnated. Like, I'm enjoying it. Like, it's fine, but I just don't care or I'm not invested yet outside of that ED.
I love this show so much. I think it's really good. And you know me, like, I hate reincarnation. I hate isekai. I hate fantasy. Like, I'm so picky when it comes to like these genres and these themes. But Dad's Been Reincarnated is in my top 10 isekai I've ever watched. It's so funny. Like, seeing this like 52-year-old bureaucrat dad, his daughter's like a huge nerd and he's reincarnated in the game that she plays, which is like an otome romance game for girls. And he's like, all right, how do I do this? And he's just like so polite and so well-spoken that he's too good. And he's struggling to be a villainess in this world. And just him being an amazing father figure. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe my daddy issues are too much.
He is a sweetheart, and I do enjoy that wrinkle where, yeah, he is tasked to play the villainess of this game, but just the old parental instincts are always kicking in, and it is fine, it is enjoyable, but it just hasn't taken that next step for me. Maybe in future episodes, it'll grab me a little bit more. Like, I guess we've got different kinds of daddy issues too, because I'm like, my dad was certainly not like this. I love my dad, but like, yeah, he wouldn't be like this. He'd be calling these people fuckheads and probably slapping them around in this game. So yeah, but it's been enjoyable. I don't regret my time with it. It's just with this list, you know, something has to go below others and vice versa. So it's just sitting there for now. It's not an avoid, but it's sitting in my mid pile. So, you know, mid's not a bad sort of metric, right?
Yeah, so tell us what has beaten this on your list, Brendan.
Okay, so we're moving up one level. This is mid, but I've got it in bad to mid because, like, even though it kind of is shitty, I had more enjoyment with this because it was a bit more zanier and more crass and silly. And that's I'm Living with an Otaku Neat Kunoichi, and it gives me very much Timu/Wish Umaru-chan vibes. So it's something that I feel you could, I don't want to say resonate with, but like you could potentially take some enjoyment from, because anyone that is stopping by this podcast for the first time knows that Umaru-chan is one of Courtney's favorite anime of all time. So it is very much the lesser than version of that. There is a bit of fan service. It is silly. It does lean into that lazy, like jobless gaming culture and lifestyle that maybe a lot of us kind of envy and secretly want. But like, again, I didn't care, but I wasn't offended by it. But there was just a few more laughs in this episode, sort of from front to back, compared to Bureaucrat to Villainess.
I just can't get over their outfits in this show.
They're ridiculous.
They're ridiculous. Like, stupid.
And it is stupid. Like, it will certainly not probably go up the rankings. If anything, as the episodes roll through, it probably will go down a little bit. Like, I feel it's probably peaked at 21 out of 24 here. Moving up another one. So this is also, I've just got this in the pure mid category. Headhunted to Another World, from Salaryman to Big Four. A few laughs. I did enjoy the usage of sort of modern day business and sales tactics, because we're seeing yet another guy get isekai'd into a fantasy world, and he has now been summoned to become one of the Demon Lord's 4 top generals. So we've got, like, you know, spellcasters and, you know, sword wielders and martial artists. Then we've got just like corporate salaryman who's coming in to try and sort of help the Demon Lord conquer the world by using his business and sales-based tactics. So it was fine. I had a few chuckles because it is a little different than a lot of these other isekai we see, but it was very largely forgettable, and the animation was pretty subpar.
It does sound interesting. Like the idea of a salaryman being in this position. But yeah, once again, classic headhunted to another world.
Yeah.
Need I say more?
Yeah, and so many of these isekai, like, no disrespect to the studios, because I know a lot of time and effort and blood, sweat, and tears go into making these anime. A lot of these anime feel like if you and I sat down and learned how to animate for a short period of time, we could make things like this, because it is more of a minimalistic sort of scaled back art style. And you know, it works. It's simple. That's why they can churn them out every season. Like, that's why we see 1,000 of these every year. But it also does stand out when you look at some of the other stuff further up this list that just looks like mind-blowing amazingness. So yeah, Headhunter to Another World sits in there. The next one, Beheniko, the elf girl's cat, is secretly an S-ranked hunter, sitting at 19 for me. It's fun, silly, and a little bit, well, I guess a lot sexy. There is a lot of fan service. There is a lot of ecchi. There's a lot of titties on display. It's pervy. It's fun, but it knows exactly what it is, and I kind of respect and appreciate that. And even though it is a bit lowbrow and leaning into a certain demographic, the animation's actually pretty decent. So it's sitting at mid for me, Beheniko.
Yeah, I avoided it specifically because it was ecchi, and like I said last episode, I used to enjoy ecchi, but now I'm like, take it or leave it. Avoid it because of that. Good to see that it's number 19 on your list.
Yeah, same again. Like, I don't know if it will sort of climb the ranks higher as the episodes go along, but like, again, I'm not offended by it. It's funny. And like, I appreciate that it knows exactly what it is. It's not trying to be anything else apart from that. It's just like, you know what? Fantasy, hot elf girl, big boobies, cat that gets into awkward situations, some dungeon hunting, the end. So like, cool. It's fine. 18 for me, Ubelblatt, gritty revenge fantasy that we've sort of been talking about here and there over the last couple of months about some potential for this one. The potential is not yet realized a couple of episodes in. It is well animated, it is gory and violent, but from what I've seen on the socials, and I've since gone away and read a few of the chapters, they've actually cut some of the story arcs out from the manga early on. They've also taken out some of the titties and the nudity, which, you know, in this world, it kind of worked. So I'm sad about that. And I'm realizing as I say that out loud that I'm sounding very pervy after back-to-back, you know, nudity-based like thumbs up from me. But yeah, Ubelblatt sitting at 18 for me in the mid category, and I feel it's probably going to stay there too.
Look, boobs are great.
Boobs are
Hooray
great.
for boobies.
Yeah. Hooray for boobies indeed. Put that on a bumper sticker. Put it on the back of my car. No, maybe not. I don't want to be tasked with that. I'll keep the sticker at home in the drawer, but I'll appreciate it and know it's there.
Oh, God.
All right. Number 17 for me. We've moved up into the good tier. So we're out of the mid tier into the good. Anyway, I'm falling in love with you, sitting at number 17. I am enjoying the reflective storytelling that we're getting from our MC here, but I'm kind of hoping we get some more depth to the leads of this. It is a lot of surface level stuff, and I know it's only a couple episodes in, so there is time for us to get some more understanding and backstory of this girl and these four very hot guys. It's funny because when I spun this one up, I'm just like sitting there going, did Courtney like ghostwrite this? Is this Courtney fanfic here? Like, is she seeing herself as this orange-haired girl that is becoming, I think she's like a mangaka, I think is what her profession is in this too. And I'm like, has she sort of come on as a sort of shadow advisor to this story? Because I feel this story is very much written for you. And in that first episode too, there's a very raunchy shower scene that I was like, oh my goodness gracious. I was not expecting this, but I bet Courtney was, and she was very happy for it.
Ignoring the comments, I 100% agree with Brendan on this series. It's the way they're telling the story through these flashbacks is really interesting, and I think it's a really cool premise to kind of, you know, have the main character. She is, you know, I think she's like an editorial manager for like a manga, magazine or whatever.
I know it was manga related, but I couldn't remember how it tied in.
Yeah, and she is, you know, thinking back on her high school life and like how good she actually had it, but she didn't appreciate it. But like you said, the main character, she's not super relatable or even really believable. Like, if I was a high school girl with four like hot guys who had been my friends since like primary school, I would know what my situation was.
Yeah, my sheets would be getting changed every other day. Like, it is a time in this anime, and it is very, very raunchy. And like, even there's just like, there's a casual scene in that first episode where she is sort of doing some drawing of the purple-haired dude, and he's just casually laying there with his shirt off, and her dad rolls in, and he's like, whoa, like, what's going on? She's like, it's all good. Like, we've been friends since we were little kids. It's all fine, Dad. And it's like, no, it's not. I know horny young adults. Like, this ain't fine.
Yes, and something to keep an eye on. Nothing to rave about just yet.
Yeah. Moving up, still in the good tier at the 16 mark here. The daily life of middle-aged online shopper in another world. So like, you know, what I mentioned about these constant influx of isekai, this falls right into there. But this has kind of been a fun little wrinkle to that isekai formula. So we're focusing on middle-aged Kenichi. He's been sort of sucked into this world after trying to save a child, gets run over by a postal truck or an ice cream, some kind of truck, I don't know. You can just think of whatever profession it is. So he wakes up in this world, but his sort of ability that he's got is he's got sort of this item box ability, so he can store anything in the item box, but he can also like jump onto like the Amazon equivalent. It's called Shangri-La is the website in this anime that he's utilizing. And he can buy anything from sort of the real world or the former world he was in and transport it through to this fantasy world. So he opens up a small little shop front, and he's selling like cubic zirconia, tic-tac jewelry. So everyone's like, oh my God, like, what is this? And it's so cheap. And he's selling like pegs that actually work with like these spring-based pegs and just normal things. So he's starting to build up his little empire and become somewhat of a little trader in there because he just wants to live a comfy life. He's just trying to save and make all this money so he can just build a house out in this fantasy farmland and, you know, live a simple life. But we know that's not going to happen because that's not how it works in a lot of these isekai.
I really am curious about this show. I feel like I won't check it out simply because it is kind of isekai crap, for lack of a better word. But as someone who has an online shopping addiction and someone who, in my profession, in my daily life, I am a shopping writer, so I spend so much time window shopping online, I feel like I could live this life, you know?
Yeah, and it does look like a good life. And like one thing that did take me for a loop a little bit in the first episode, like when he first gets into this fantasy world and he's trying to find a place to sleep, he goes to like this inn, ends up like bumping uglies with the innkeeper. Like on the first, like you don't see the sex scene play out or anything, but like you hear the before and the after, and just like, okay, like, because it was sweet and innocent up until that moment. It's like, oh, now we've got some sex. Like, again, nothing wrong with that, but just, was it necessary? But like, respect to Kenichi, because the innkeeper, she's a bit of a smoke show.
Well, good for him.
Yeah, get it, boy. Get it, boy. Hopefully you just bought some protection off the Shangri-La website, because who knows what kind of fantasy-based ailments could impact his life now and into the future. All right, number 15, still in the good tier, Castlevania Nocturne Season 2. I binged this completely over the weekend. It's, as I said, it's good. It's not great. I felt the early Castlevania stuff and even Nocturne Season 1 was probably better holistically than Season 2, but like, the animation is so clean and it is so polished. Like DR Movie, the studio behind this, who are part owned by Madhouse, and they do a lot of Western-based sort of shadow animation to like a lot of the superhero-based animation you see on the airwaves these days. They're behind this, and the way that they can animate the characters, the expressions, the supernatural, the combat, the gore, all like double thumbs up, top tier, like stunning to watch. The story is a bit and that's why it's in the good page for me, because, you know, it does get carried a lot by the action and the gore and the fantasy, which is fine. But something that I think that could potentially elevate, at least from your personal ranks, is Alucard, the hybrid vampire boy with the white hair and the white skin and the gold eyes and just the do not give a fuck attitude. Like, he is just a bad son of a gun. And yeah, I love him. And it's been fine. I do not regret this. Sitting at number 15. It won't go up from here, obviously, because I've watched the whole thing.
Alucard's very pretty, for sure. I watched the first season of Castlevania when it came out on Netflix. It was fine. For me, nothing super notable. And I guess if I see enough Alucard, maybe I'll get into it.
There's a bit of him in this season, so who knows? But maybe sort of fan art and fanfic is the way for you to sort of live your Alucard life, I'd say. Number 14, still in the good section. I checked out the first episode of the latest season of Dr. Stone overnight. it's a very easy first episode to sort of ease us back into this world and reintroduce us to the characters and the main players. It's sort of this first episode ties into, we have like a little bit of a casino theme going on the boat, because they're about to sort of engage on the pilgrimage from Japan all the way to America, because the previous season, minor spoilers, ended with someone in America sending them a message, and now they're trying to find out who else is alive in this world. And so there's some gambling taking place to work out which way is going to be the quickest way to sort of sail the seven seas to get from Japan to America. It's fine, very low stakes first episode, but like, it's a cool world. I love the use of science and real intelligence behind this anime, and it's just an easy watch. So yeah, sitting at number 14 for me, because the first episode was not like a world beater, but it was a good reintro to the game.
So I haven't watched any of the Dr. Stone anime, but I have been reading the manga. I'm up to like chapter 60. They've just figured out how to make a car, which is riveting stuff, honestly. No, seriously, it's fun. It's funny. The characters are cute and enjoyable. And even though it is pretty high stakes, I feel like it really mixes in kind of comedy and lightheartedness really, really well. So I'm keen to keep reading and maybe catch up with the anime.
Yeah, it's a good watch. It's well animated, the story's cool, and it's very distinctive. It's very unique amongst the sort of the usual slate of anime we're watching at the moment. So yeah, that's my number 14. I've got two more in the good pile before we move into the great. So at number 13, Madaka Kurioa is impervious to my charms. It's still enjoyable. It is still laden with ecchi and fan service, don't get me wrong, but like, the amount of laughs and entertainment that I'm getting out of these first two episodes have kept it sitting pretty here at number 13. So yeah, it knows exactly what it is again. The animation style is pretty solid. The comedy and the sense of humor is certainly like right up my alley. And yeah, I've been vibing with it. That's my 13.
I'm glad you're enjoying it, Brendan.
Thank you. One more here in the good. Potentially could shift into the great as the episodes continue to flow here. My Happy Marriage on Netflix. It's still one of the best looking anime doing the rounds in this winter season. But this sort of second season so far with these first two episodes, it is very snail's pacey. And that's the big thing. Like, it is setting it up and there is some drama and some big stakes. It feels like just on the horizon, but like, just get us to the drama and the big stakes, because like, I love you, Mio. You are the sweetest little thing, and I will fight every bitchy stepmother to sort of keep you safe, because Mama Kudo, I fucking hate you. I hope you do get hit by some carriage in the next episode and have like some freak accident where you don't die, but you're just in pain until you die 40 years later. But I'm wanting more. It feels like when I watched the latest season of Kimi no Todoke last season, where it's like, okay, you two love each other, you're committed. Like, these two are engaged to be married, her and Master Kudo, and yet like, she's still meek as a little field mouse and is scared to even like be close to him or ask him to do or say anything. So I'm like, come on, like, build that confidence up, woman, and take your man and live a good, happy life together.
Yeah, I'm definitely in the same boat as you here. Like, season 1 was slow as well, but it was able to kind of ramp up enough that it kept me interested. Season 2 so far, we've had, I think it's 2 episodes now at the moment, and it's fine. I need more, please, more.
Yeah, I'm hoping we get more soon, because it is a cool concept, because we do have at its core like a simple, heartfelt, wholesome love story, but then it's like, oh, there's also demons and supernatural and magic abilities. So it's kind of cool that it does tread the line across these two different worlds. But yeah, I need that crescendo soon. Like, if this meanders at this pace for another few episodes, it might slip further down the list, because I'm like, something happened. Come on. Like, I'm poking it with the stick, like, do stuff. Come on. Like, let's go. Okay, but we're moving into the top 11 now. We're moving into the great subcategory, so just underneath Amaze. And number 11, I'm getting married to a girl I hate in my class. It is still bringing the laughs. It is so consistently funny and just tonally me that I just vibe with this so hard. I love the dynamic between Akane and Saito that have been forced into this marriage by their horny, pervy grandparents, and just watching them navigate the married life at home, but then sort of keeping it under wrapped in their last year of high school. It's just a great great story, and tonally, it's like a big thumbs up for me. I'm vibing with it, Courtney. I love it.
I feel like this anime for you is like from bureaucrat to villainous for me. Like, for me, Dad's Been Reincarnated is hilarious and right up my alley. This one for you, it has that kind of romance comedy aspect that you really enjoy.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Like, yeah, it's just a good watch. It's decently animated. The voice work is funny. I mean, the voice work is great, but it is also very funny. And I do enjoy that they sort of lean into a lot of the chibi type of art styles when there is the conflict, and there's a lot of conflict, and it is just great. So yeah, I'm Getting Married to a Girl I Hate in My Class is in the great tier, number 11. All right, moving into my top 10. At number 10, also in the great tier, Amiku MD Doctor Detective. Who would have thunk it would be in my top 10? Not me, not you for sure. I know we sort of mentioned this in our sort of seasonal forecast, and you panned this one pretty quickly. I was quietly optimistic, but I didn't expect it to land here. Amiku, she is 100% the male Dr. House, but minus the cane. She's very stoic. She's very determined. She's very smart. And she's got some strong waifu potential because she's got that stoicness. She's got a big heart underneath that hard shell. She's a very smart woman, but she's also got a deep, deep love for dinosaurs and Jurassic Park. And she also lives in a cottage on top of the hospital because her family owns the hospital because, you know, she's obviously from a family of very smart doctors. It's a really good mix of mystery and fun, and I'm vibing with it again, Courtney. It's a time.
I will say it does pique my interest. The only thing that turns me away from it is the fact that she's a detective. Like, I know it's supposed to be like house, like medical mystery drama, but at the same time, like, I just don't know how well that can be done in an anime. And every time I look at the Kia, I'm like, this is so unserious. Cannot take it seriously.
Yeah, like at the back end of the first, because it does end on a nice dramatic cliffhanger, the first episode, which I also appreciate. And there was a guy that gets brought into the hospital, like missing half his leg that's been bitten off, and he somehow got blue blood, like he's sort of bleeding blue. So there is kind of like this mystery and intrigue, and then like watching her super doctor brain go to work about like analyzing and sort of working out what his symptoms are and what the ailment could be. Like it's kind of fun and it's enjoyable. And yeah, like I said, she's a Jurassic Park fan, so like that's an immediate like big checkbox for me. I'm a simple man.
Match made in heaven.
Oh yeah. The next one also could be a match made in heaven. In the great tier, number 9, I may be a guild receptionist, but I'll solo any boss to clock out on time. Great. All Alina wants is to live a very quiet life and be left alone. Don't we all? Like, I can immediately relate to that first and foremost. But we learn pretty much 5 minutes in that ain't ever going to happen, because outside of her very cruisy, casual, menial receptionist job, which she loves because she just wants that simple life, she's also a god tier beast level sort of adventurer who can one-shot bosses out in the sort of the dungeons. So even though she's like working for the man, doing the 9 to 5 in parentheses, just doing admin and stuff, there's a lot of quests that keep building up because no one can take down the high-level bosses. So everyone's just coming in, taking all these low-end crappy quests, making her like her workload increase. She's doing overtime all the time. And she's so sassy. Like, she swears a lot. She gives it to everybody. She's got some really, really great, like, Anya Forger-esque facial expressions. Like, she's not subtle with how she's feeling. She's a super vibe. Like, I'm a big fan of Alina, and I think she's one of my favorite characters of this season, like across all of the anime I'm watching so far, because she's just a person that you can relate to. Like, and it's a fun story, animation solid, and it's some good fantasy.
Here's the thing. If you're good at your job, if you're too good, you end up doing more. Alina, I need you to just be a little more incompetent.
Yeah.
Please, it's okay. You don't have to be the best at everything.
And she does have some flawed logic where she's like, you know what? If I put in the overtime today, I can finish on time tomorrow. So that's sort of her mentality. But because the overtime just keeps on coming, she's just stuck in this vicious cycle. But she's great. She's, a badass. Like, she's got this mysterious alias because no one knows who she is when she's the adventurer. But like, her name is like the executioner. She's got like a giant ass hammer, one shot and stuff. Like, she's a bad son of a gun. So yeah, that's number 9 for me in the great tier. This one, it felt weird to call it great this early on, but I think I'm more so looking forward. Like, I enjoyed a lot of these first few episodes. And that my number 8 is Honey Lemon Soda. It could potentially be good/great depending on what you're looking for. Like, I am firmly in Uka's camp. I'm rooting for her. I want her to succeed and build her confidence and live her best little life. But her and then Kai, they are very copy-pasty as far as a sort of young love tropey type of vibe going on. But I'm holding out hope that this could be a sign of affection of 2025. Will we get there? I don't know. It's gorgeously animated, especially when we see the close-up eye shots of the characters. But like we talked about earlier regarding Anyway, I'm Falling in Love with You, there isn't a ton of depth to these characters just yet. So I'm going to give it time to marinate and hopefully for this soda to add more flavor to these characters. But right now, I'm enjoying it. I warmed my heart in some of these key moments, and it's got me a little emotional. So that's my number 8.
I find I just can't. You can't help but root for Uka. I can't wait for her to get off my screen. She's so annoying. I'm like, just the fact that she is relying on this guy to help her. I'm like, girl, come on. Like, go read a self-help book. I don't know, but like, she's just so one-dimensional, so boring. Kai, he's a little better, but even then he's like, oh, you're just annoying. Just call for help. And she's like, help. And he's like, louder. And I'm like, you two, just go away. Get off my screen. I love his friends though. His little friend group. They're really, really sweet. They're really charming. I hope we get to see more of them because at the moment, the only reason I'm watching is for his friend group.
That's a little harsh. Like, I can understand where you're coming from to a small degree for sure. Like, Uka, it's sort of confirmed pretty early on. She's never had any friends. It doesn't seem like even her family are there to sort of support her. Like, her mum is so oblivious to what her daughter is going through and living through. Like, she's had no one there to help lift her up or give her that initial push. And Kai, yes, he is a little blunt and a little sort of rude in the way he's giving her that push. But I feel no matter who gave her that push in that moment where they first cross paths on the busy sort of Japanese street when she's sort of downtrodden on the footpath, like, that could have been me, you, your cat, my dog, the rando old man neighbor across the road that burps and farts all the time. Like, whoever it was that sort of said, hey, Uka, get up. Here's my hand, or my metaphorical hand. Like, you can do this. Whoever gave her that initial jolt, I think would have helped put her on that path. And that's what she needed. She just needed someone to believe in her.
Oh my God, so dramatic. God.
Yeah, well, I'm just trying to see the best in these people. But yeah, like, it could potentially drop down a few ranks on this list, or it could elevate if we do get some context and get off the blocks with a few of these characters. Because like, I'm all for an underdog. I'm all for someone that's trying to find themselves. But if it's a whole season of that and we get that big step happening like right at the very end, I'll be pretty upset. My number 7, this surprised me quite a bit actually, because the first scene of this, it was fine. It wasn't the best by any means, but the 100 Girlfriends Who Really, 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 Really Love You. The first episode was such a goddamn ride, and I was 110% along for it. We saw all 6 of Rintaro's current soulmates switch bodies Freaky Friday style, which just led to some very interesting hijinks between all 6 of them navigating these very different bodies that they're used to. And the only way to sort of de-Freaky Friday them, Rintaro had to give them all a kiss. So we're watching them all kiss and then sort of die and then sort of like become spirit form, like the dead ghost in the sky type of vibe. So they all sort of got dead ghosted with these big kisses, and watching them all react differently, it was so good. Like, I don't know if there's new writers involved in this second season, but it feels like it's just been dialed up, and the zaniness and the madness is just at peak levels. And again, like, there's so much nonsense, there's so much laughs, and it just all works for me again. Like, it is super funny. It is wholesome at times, which is surprising considering like 2 of his current soulmates are actually a mother-daughter combo. So, we don't need to sort of dive too deeply on that. Like, there is some things that happen in this world where you're like, oh, that's kind of a bit stranger dangery for various reasons. we are introduced to soulmate number 7, who is a girl named Karumi. Can relate to her immediately because she is the hangry sort of stereotype as far as each one of his soulmates. And also in this first season, first episode, the second episode I haven't watched yet of season 2 so far, we get references to like Your Name and La Puta. So getting some big other anime royalty mentioned in this first episode, combined with the crassness and the funniness and the silliness and a little bit of fan serviceness, I'm not going to lie. It just combined for a hell of a time. And I think I was laughing like audibly from start to finish on that first episode. I'm here for it.
I'm really shocked with this series because if you look at my anime list right now, if you look at the winter 2025 season anime and you order it from highest score, number 1 is Solo Leveling Season 2. Number 2 is The Apothecary Diary Season 2. And number 3 is this anime. And I'm like, what is happening? Like, do I need to check it out?
I think you do. Like, my people, like, I can't argue with that. Like, I had so much fun with this first episode, and I'm going to cop episode 2 once we're done recording here. And, you know, I'll report back on episode 33. Maybe it does take a dive and go back to sort of that middle ground that first season overall felt like to me. But like that first episode for season 2 was so strong and so enjoyable for me, and I'm loving it. Something else I'm loving, my number 6, Okitsura. So cute, so enjoyable. The animation is great. The locations are great. And it really stands out this season so far as something that is distinctive and unique. And again, it just works. I'm just enjoying this world. I'm enjoying these characters. And I'm enjoying seeing a different location that we're used to in, 98% of the anime we watch. It is a time. And you've been vibing with this one too, yeah?
Yeah, I love Okitsura. I think it's so cute. I love Okinawa. I love that it explores the culture and how different it is from mainland Japan. Just fun, colorful, really easy to watch. Surprised it's not higher in the scores.
Me too. Like, I think it is sort of a middling score from what I remember seeing on Mal last week. And I'm like, you know what? Who you whore? Like, that is very wrong. Like, that is very wrong in that one. Like, I'm with you on 100 Girlfriends, but I'm not with you on Okitsura because it's great. It's super enjoyable. And I'm optimistic that it's going to be a good watch sort of throughout this entire first season. My number 5, still in that great tier, Medalist is my number 5. A bit of a late starter. I caught up on all of the episodes available on Disney Plus over the weekend because I've seen so many people on social media talking up how great this is. And I'm like, okay, I trust your opinion. You've usually got good taste. I'm going to check it out. So I watched it. I was immediately hooked. Like I just mentioned earlier about like, I love a good underdog story. That's exactly what Medalist is. We're focusing on a young 11-year-old girl named Inori who's got these big dreams to become a world-class figure skater. But obviously she's a bit of a late starter to it. Her mum is doubting it and didn't even want her to sort of pursue figure skating. So there's sort of a bit of conflict going on there. But seeing her and the relationship that's developing now between her trainer and coach, Tsukasa, it's got me cheering from the couch. Like, I was like fist pumping. I was getting like teary-eyed from tears of joy. Like, I'm so in on this story and these characters. And then the animation, like I said, it's just a good time from start to back. And they also weave in some comedy and some silly moments too, and it just works.
Yeah, I caught up on episode 2 last night, and I'm really enjoying Medalist. This, I think, for me was the dark horse of this season so far. We'll see if anything changes, but so far it's kind of come out of nowhere. People are just talking about it. It's on Disney Plus. Like, of course, no one's really picked it up, but I'm enjoying it. I love that she wanted to be a figure skater so badly that she was paying her entrance to the ice rink with worms. Just really cute, really fun, and it's gonna make me cry. I can see it now.
Yeah, it's already made me cry a little bit, and like, I can't wait for more of it. And like, I'm just sort of thinking again, like the animation, especially during the figure skating scenes. Can't remember the other girl that gets introduced. It was like, made it to like nationals, and she's like another young prodigy. Watching her do like the spins and the jumps, how gorgeously that is animated. I was just like, whoa. I had to sort of step back and take notice. Like, it is very impressive stuff. And yeah, I'm with you. Like, this is a dark horse for the season for sure. My number 4, we'll talk about in more detail very shortly because this is our sort of seasonal focus-based watch. But that is Sakamoto Days, sitting at number 4 for me. My number 3, in the great tier, I feel it could potentially end up in the amaze tier by the end of the season, just because I love this world and love these characters so much. But to be honest, I still haven't copped the second episode, but the Apothecary Diary season 2 is sitting there firmly at number 3 for me for a whole host of reasons.
I am loving season 2 so much. It definitely deserves its spot in the winter rankings at number 2 on my anime list. The second episode, we start to get more of that mystery, and we're getting back to the Mao Mao solving, these problems, and whether they're crimes or murders or, in this season we've got scented oils is the theme, and there's abortion herbs and pregnant concubines and, books, and all of these things are happening. And I think I'm really excited to see how it all unfolds, and thinking about the first season, how it really, really ramped up to a very emotional climax. I'm excited for this season.
You and me both. I'm going to be checking out that second episode after this as well, because the first episode started so strongly and just continued all the momentum from season 1 from last year. It is one of my favorite new anime from the last several years, and the hype is justified. The animation, some of the best looking anime you will watch, not only this season, but this year or last year or this decade, who the hell knows, add a time period to it, because it's so good. And drama, mystery, crime solving, bit of romance, bit of comedy. It is a blender of everything that we love here on MTH. Yes. All right. Moving into the amaze tier. So obviously this is the top tier on my very, very scientific metric-based system here. And I've got Solo Leveling sitting at my number 2 right now. And that's wholly and solely based off just the adrenaline injection you get from watching this anime. It feels like an energy drink in anime form. You pop that, you suck it down, and you're just like, holy shit, my heart is about to explode. I hope I survive this, but goddamn, I feel good. And that's what Solo Leveling is to me. It is just all gas, no brakes. It is machismo. It is violence. It is cool. It is stylized. It is just a good old time. And seeing Sun Jinu and his shadow army in episode 3 just casually tear through 75 floors of this castle dungeon like it was nothing. It's just man, you can see how powerful him and his army are becoming, with every death they sort of deal on all these baddies as they quest for the elixir of life to, hopefully awaken Sun Jinu's mum, is a good sort of quieter episode, I think, compared to the first 2. I felt the first 2 episodes that we copped on the back of watching the Solo Leveling film, they had a different type of look and feel to it, with the whole, we're in a snow-capped world, where here we're in sort of run-down demonic hellscape Korea, is sort of the aesthetic we're getting here. So it's a different look and feel, but we also get a different look and feel come via way of another character, because we're introducing this 3rd episode to Sun Jinu's dad, who is also a badass son of a gun, who is yoked, got a head full of, he's very beast-like in his aesthetic. And we see him and Hwang, the S-ranked Korean hunter now residing in the States, who has sort of a self-imposed bounty on Sun Jinu's head, because obviously he killed Hwang's brother, who was a piece of shit, for those that don't remember. So we see them, or we don't see them have a battle, but we see the aftermath where sort of law enforcement have said it's always worrying, and you have 2 S-rank world tier hunters go to battle for the blowback, but you just see it was just over in a flash. So Sun Jinu's dad is just a badass son of a gun. But we also get some brief scenes with ChaO, who is one of my favorite waifus doing the rounds in the anime and manga / manhwa worlds. I am ready to swim countless laps with you, ChaO. Just let me know when you want to meet me at the pool. I'll wear Speedos, I'll wear boardies, I'll wear goggles, whatever you want. I'll get a kickboard. You tell me, and I'm there.
Brendan, I think this is the most we've ever heard about your weird fantasies. But like you said, episode 3 is a bit of a, I guess, a wind down. As we've had the action in the first 2 episodes of this season. it's not as exciting, but you can see it's definitely building up to something intense. Seeing Jinu's dad, like you said, he looks like a wild animal. Like he looks like Rambo. Like they've pulled him out of a forest or something. And I'm shocked he's even alive, honestly. But the thing that really got me with this third episode, because obviously we had a bit of a break because we watched episodes 1 and 2 during the cinematic release. So hearing the opening again and having Felix from Stray Kids and his deep voice in combination with Lisa for the opening, I was like, oh my God, I forgot Felix was doing this. And I was like, it's so good. It goes so hard.
Like, I'm again putting myself in the spotlight here, talking weird fantasies and going down a more adult themed perspective here. But that voice and then that look, like he might be collectively one of like the greatest people to ever be invented or created on planet Earth. Like he is like hot to trot. And then he's got a voice that can just like drop panties, whether they be male or female oriented underwear, like within 2 syllables. You're just like, what in the hell? Who is this man? And like you look at him and the voice doesn't go with the aesthetic, but then you combine it and you're just like, you were made in a laboratory. Like,
yeah.
You are a super soldier. You aren't human. Like, God help us all. And then knowing that he's just a humble boy from Western Sydney and he's like becoming this global superstar and then leading his vocal talents to one of the best OPs, to one of the biggest anime in the world with Lisa, who is one of like the anime OP-ED goddesses. Like it is a power couple happening right there with that song. And it is a banger.
I got to see Stray Kids live, I think it was last year, and I'm wearing my shirt from the concert that I got that I love. And please, more K-pop idols in anime openings, please.
Yes, please. I can only imagine like the health warnings at those concerts that they need to put around the place, because the how slippery those floors would be getting watching that band perform. My goodness, like you take your life in your hands going to a Stray Kids show, I'm sure.
Yes, it was extremely horny and chaotic, but it was amazing. I went with Alina and Steph and Isha. There was much screaming.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I think I could hear it. Like I'm like 1,200 kilometers away or whatever, but I'm pretty sure I could hear you and the crew sort of screaming that fateful night, like if I stood out on the balcony. So yeah, get ready if you're going to a Stray Kids show. Maybe wear a raincoat to be safe. All right, my number one in the Amazed here, my current number one of the top 24 that we've just worked through. I'm very happy that this anime exists. I'm very happy that we're both checking it out. It's on High Dive, which I'm sad about because it means less people are going to be naturally copying it at the moment. Flower and Asura, this feels like an anime that was very much made with me in mind. Was that the case? Maybe not. Who knows? But like the animation is gorgeous. The soundtrack is also gorgeous and tonally just on point. I love the cozy vibes. I love the amount of heart that is on display here. I love the rivalry developing between Hannah and Anne. And also just when you weave in that with a theme and a common interest, like, tying into broadcasting and content creation, which is, what we're doing right now, like it really resonated with me. And then weaving that further into spoken word and poetry, like, I cannot fault this anime a few episodes in. I love it. I'm obsessed with it already. And there was just this one line that still resonates with me from these first few episodes where one of the characters is talking about Hannah's voice, and she says she's got a voice made for painting literary worlds. And I'm like, oh my God, that's one of the best things I've heard in I don't know how long. And that line there just like blew my heart to pieces. And I'm like, I'm in. I don't care what happens from here on out. This is perfection. This is cinema, as the kids say, Courtney.
I'm a huge fan of anime that are set in either a high school or like a middle school or a university. And they're about these like clubs and really niche hobbies or like social circles. And I love them because it shows you a world that you would not normally have exposure to. Like, I watched Super Cub, which is all about the Honda Super Cub.
It's such
scooter.
A good watch too.
It's so good. Like, and these anime that are they're just so niche, right? Like this one is about broadcasting and recitals of, you know, poetry and literature. And it's just something that, like, you know, you wouldn't ever consider or think of. Like when I was in high school, people had hobbies like drawing or gaming or watching anime or, I don't know, chess, whatever it was. But like things that are so specific like this, I really, really love, because I think it gets to a part of me that is just so curious about the world and things around me that I don't know about. And I really, really love it.
I do too. Like, I can't speak highly enough of this. Like, it is just checking all those personal boxes I look for in content. And yeah, I do like that it is left of center. It is not like, you know, I've just rattled off like half a dozen isekai with the same sort of beats, where this anime stands so far on its own. And I mean that in like the best way. And yet, like, it is art. Like, yes, anime at its core is art, but like this story, this world, these characters, like, it is art translated to screen, and I'm so happy for it. And if it even managed to be like 3/4 as good for the rest of the way through this season, I feel it'll still be in the top 2 to top 3.
Yeah, definitely. So that's all of your list. I have one more to add that I've been watching. Toilet Bound Hanako-kun season 2. I watched episode 1. I'm so glad it's back. It's so pretty. The voice acting's amazing. I missed Hanako so much. He's so wild and cheeky. And we start off with a new apparition and mystery to solve. So we have the Clock Keeper's arc. It looks like it's going to be really fun. It's all about time and like manipulation of time. And other than that, Hanako is just being back to being a horny ghost, and I'm here for it. Like, more Hanako. Yeah,
more Hanako, more horny ghosts. Like, we don't get we get a lot of spooky, gonna scare you ghosts, but we don't get a lot of horny ghosts. So yeah, maybe that's a medium or a subgenre we need to explore a little further in anime. Who knows? But yeah, I haven't jumped in on this season yet. I will try and find some time. But like, looking at the amount of anime we've gone through so far, and if you're going to use my very scientific metric, what would you classify season 2 of Hanako-kun at so far?
I would classify it, for me, it would just be a maze. Like, I love this series so much. Like, it's just it's so clean. Like, they spent a lot of time on this season, and you can really, really tell already.
I love that. Yeah. Because I remember season 1 was like your top anime of maybe like 2021, I think season 1 came out.
I loved it. It's just like romance and comedy and mystery and supernatural and hot guys, and it's got everything. I love it.
It does have everything. And something else that's got just about everything in a very different sort of subtext, that's for very sure, is our deep dive. As I said, it was my number 4 currently out of that list of 24. So let's start unpacking episode 2 of Sakamoto Days. I will say the biggest thing right off the rip that took me by surprise is they did have some liberties with the pacing. They did completely cut out chapter 2 entirely. Like, there wasn't a ton in chapter 2 that I guess is formative to the overall story, but there's like, you know, a bus hijacking scene, and Awe is on the bus, and there's, you know, bad villains on there, obviously, that have taken, you know, the bus hostage. And then we see Sakamoto and Shin come in on the motorbike and do their sort of anti-hero type of vibe and save the day. We get introduced to a female police officer, but like, none of that happens in this. They completely jump to future chapters, and like, I think pacing wise it worked. Yes. And like, if we hadn't read the manga, obviously we wouldn't know. Like, we wouldn't go from episode 1 to episode 2 and go, what's happened? Like, this isn't the same story. Like, it flowed and made sense. And overall, I really enjoyed this second episode. Like, I enjoy the comfy, nostalgic vibe that Sakamoto Days has for me, because the art style is very different compared to a lot of the other stuff we're watching. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Like, it is a good time. TMS have been doing really good with the adaptation from panel to pixel. But yeah, overall, I feel it's sitting in that great tier. Like, it's enjoyable, it's comfort, it's fun, it's silly, it's violence. The combat is cool, and some of the stuff that plays out in this second episode, you're like, whoa, okay, we're going there too? Like, that's a lot.
Yeah, I think even though they did skip a few chapters of the manga, I think you're right. The pacing is really, really good. You wouldn't have noticed if you hadn't read the manga. The kind of plot of this episode is Sakamoto's wife threatens to divorce him if he doesn't follow the family rule, thanks to Shin blabbering about how he killed a bunch of guys. So already we have this like, what's the family rule, you know? And then we see Sakamoto and Shin going to Chinatown to get some really yummy looking pork buns, but they're interrupted when a girl flies out the window squishing the buns.
I was so devastated and heartbroken for those pork buns. Like, I would travel far for a good pork bun or a good dumpling. Like, they are one of the best things on planet Earth to put in and around your mouth. So seeing that bag of buns get squished by the fantastic ChaO Tang, I might add. She's a great character. She sort of joins this ensemble cast. She's vibrant, she's bubbly, she's got a really cool character model and vibe to herself. And I like too with her, she's not even though in the first scene we meet her, she is sort of in distress, but she's not a damsel in distress, because we see throughout this episode, she can hold her own, she can fight, she'll stand up for herself, she knows martial arts, because we find out that she's on the run from the mafia, because the mafia has just killed her entire family, minus ChaO Tang, and she's actually got a key around her neck, and that key holds the secrets to potentially take over the entire black market. So that's sort of the basis and the crux of the story for episode 2.
Yeah, so, you know, we see that Shin and Sakamoto get involved with trying to help her escape these like mafia and these gang members, and even ChaO Tang's like, why are you doing this? Why are you helping me? Like, I can handle myself. And they're like, no, like, you know, we're going to help you. We're not going to leave someone in trouble. And so we had a lot of great mind reading moments with Shin, seeing himself imagining getting killed, but there was a moment where he sees the memory of Sakamoto. He's reminiscing about when I think it was Christmas, he's bringing his wife a present and he's covered in blood, and she's like, bro, come on, what are you doing? You don't come to me, try to give me a Christmas present when you're covered in blood. What have you been doing? And he's like, oh, I just like did my job, killed a guy. And she's like, no, if you want to be with me, you are going to stop killing. That's, you know, we're just no more killing, please. And then he's like, oh, but you know, it's my job, just take the present. And she does the most dramatic thing.
It's so silly.
She's like, no, and then goes and runs and jumps off of a roof of a building, and he has to go and save her, ultimately proving his point. She's like, you know, you should use your powers to protect people rather than kill them. But oh my god, it was so dramatic.
It's so dramatic because even when they land, like, are we severely underestimated how big a drop it was? Like, they land, like, I don't know how they didn't even, like, even though he shielded her from the impact, I don't know how no one was injured, because it felt like it was 50 stories. They felt like they were falling for a while. Then they just get up and she's casually just dusting the snow off. So she's like, oh, yeah, that's a little higher than expected. But like you said, Courtney, she's saying, you know, use your powers and your freakish abilities for good, like save life instead of taking life. And so it really sets the tone because, yeah, he's got like this no kill code. And we're seeing this in these first 2 episodes now that Shin is, I guess, part of this surrogate family, and ChaO Tang is now part of this family. There is that code, you know. There's the Sakamoto, law book that they need to adhere to, and obviously the big one there is no killing. You know, be good people and live a good life. But 2 people that aren't good or living a good life in this episode is a couple of very psychotic serial killer assassination brothers, Bachi and Suni. They are sick. They are twisted. They take a lot of like pleasure in doing horrible things and cutting people's heads off. And it is a bit of a whiplashy moment because it is very laxed. It is very fun and quirky and kooky Sakamoto Days. And then we get a decapitation scene and you're like, oh shit. And what like the brothers say during this moment too, Courtney, it's just like, this is really unsettling.
Yeah, so Bacho kind of cuts off the head. He picks it up and is like, Sonny, look, he's still trying to breathe. And I was like, this is like fucked. Like, actually, just these 2 are maniacal. And I think it's a really good way to show how crazy these characters really are. And they're then tasked with trying to find and kill Xiaotang and get the key from her. But of course, Sakamoto and Shin are not going to let that happen. They help her out. Sakamoto does there's a really great fight scene with him and the brothers where, you know, he's like smacking them with pots and pans, and his like little double chin is like wiggling around as he dodges, and they're like, what is going on? Who is this guy? And, you know, that's Sakamoto's whole thing. Like, he's an ex-assassin. Like, of course they're not going to know him. He's very much on the DL. And, you know, he's just amazing and proving to these brothers that, you know, you don't need to kill people to live a good life.
It does. I do question that a little bit, though, because some of the punishment and the injuries that he inflicts to these baddies, I'm like, 100% they're dead. Like, especially in that first episode when he takes down the boss and his goonies, like, he is doing some kill shots if I ever did see it. Like, I've watched enough anime and film and TV and played enough video games to know that kills somebody. So I'm wondering how strictly he adheres to the rules that Aoi sort of sets for their household. I feel, you know, he's a loyal man. He would do right by his wife, but when he always says, you know, they weren't life-threatening injuries, I'm like, bullshit, mother. Like, you did that to me, I'd die 7 times. Like, settle down. But I also love that all of these fights and the constant tying into food, like, he's always derailing baddies' attempts to sort of cause chaos. Like, you know, he catches the bullets with the chopsticks. He sort of breaks a blade with some tongs in this one. Like, there's so much food-related combat that is also, again, like a big personal checkbox for me. But something that I love, not only that resonates as far as, you know, food bringing people together and, you know, strengthening bonds and all that, but also the pseudo family element. Like, you know, like, as the idiotic Vin Diesel once said, you don't have to be blood to be a family. And we see a lot of that here in Sakamoto Days, because he is bringing all these people into the Sakamoto family and, you know, making sure they're all safe and protected with his little crew.
Yeah, and you see, like, the reason he changed his life and turned it around from a life of crime was because of family, right? He finally understood why family is so important, and he loves his wife and his daughter so much. And then even this episode with Xiaotang, her, you know, she's lost her family and she's trying to figure out in this world, like, you know, where do I go now? I don't have my family. These guys are trying to take the last thing that my family gave to me. Of course, she ends up getting it back, and the things she's looking for, it's not these like gold and riches and jewels. It's actually a bottle of sake that her dad left because he wanted to share it with her when she became of age. And of course, she can't do that. So she turns to Sakamoto and Shin and she's like, you know what, guys, like, this is what I'm looking for. Let's drink it together. And they do. And she ends up being, incorporated into Sakamoto's family. She gets given the green apron, and she's now making and running the pork bun section of the store.
What a life, and what a second episode. Like, it is just fun. It is comfort food anime for me. Like, it's just an easy, good, wholesome, cozy watch with a bit of violence and decapitation. Like, what more do you need for your early Sunday morning viewing? And yeah, it is firmly my number 4 at the moment. I don't mean that like any bad attachment to that. Like, I just feel the other anime that we've talked about sitting above that currently just have a few other things that this doesn't. But it is great, it is cozy, it is comfortable, and it is another hit and winner for Netflix, I'm sure.
Yes, it's very wholesome, loving the art, loving the vibes, loving the music, loving the themes. So yeah, watch Sakamoto Days.
Yes. And once you're done watching Sakamoto Days, go read The Beginning After the End. I am so far down the manhwa rabbit hole at the moment. It is not funny. Like I've mentioned, you know, I've smacked through Solo Leveling, Omniscient Reader, and now The Beginning After the End, which is one of the other big manhwa that's sort of doing the rounds these days. It's funny because when we first did the recording yesterday, I said I was up to chapter 80, and obviously since then, I am now up to chapter 125 because I was up to 3:30 this morning reading through this story because I cannot put it down. I love this world. We've got a resurrection fantasy story going on here where we're seeing a former king reborn into this other world, and we're sort of seeing him adapt to this new life right from birth all the way through into sort of, he just hit 12 years old in the story now at, you know, chapter 125. Arthur Leywin is sort of our new MC, very overpowered. You know, he's got a lot of like sort of, what's the word I'm thinking? Like he's very sort of magic centric. Like he's got some underlying abilities to become either, you know, the biggest hero in the world or the biggest threat to this world, depending on how things play out. So I like that, where it's like, do we have at the end like a big swerve where Arthur ends up becoming like the villain? Like maybe, I don't know. But also one of the characters that I've quickly developed a big soft spot for is an elf princess called Tessa. They have a chance meeting when Arthur is like 5 years old. She's been kidnapped. He saves her from these bandits and then brings her back to her elf kingdom and whatnot. And sort of they have a really cute, young, sort of wholesome friendship. But now they're going to this prestigious mage school together. And it's like, will they, won't they? So there's like this awkward potential first love romance thing going on. And she's so sweet, and watching her sort of bumble her way through her feelings, where because Arthur obviously was an adult king before this, he's a little bit more grounded in his thought processes. So sort of seeing the conflicting inner monologues play out on the panels has been really great. But again, gorgeously animated. Fuyuki23 is the illustrator behind this, and Turtle Me is the writer. It's just a fun time, and we don't have to wait too long to see this translate to screen because it's getting an anime adaptation that comes out in April. So I am so hyped. The beginning after the end, double thumbs up. Good.
I will definitely be checking out this anime after the way you just described this manhwa. And yeah, by the sounds of it, the characters sound good. I think it's good that we're getting another, you know, he's reborn rather than kind of like isekai, but reborn, and has all of his memories. So I'm keen to check out the anime.
If he does a Rudius Grey Rat to me, though, and fucks over Tessa, who is pretty much the Sylphie of this world, you know, silver-haired, elf girl, kind heart, kind soul, all that kind of stuff. Like if he fucks her over, I'm going to be so mad, Courtney, so mad, because I still haven't forgiven Rudius after that like latest season of Mushoku Tensei.
Oh, I'm with you. Stay faithful, Arthur.
Yes.
I believe.
Please, you son of a bitch, do right by her. If you don't, I'm going to be very mad. I'm going to I follow Fuyuki23 and Turtle Me on the socials. I'll be furiously in their DMs on Instagram saying, hey, you retcon this immediately. But listeners, viewers, Sugoi Squad, that brings us to the end of the official proceedings here on episode 32 of More Than Headlines. It was a bit of a longer one. We aren't going to be unpacking 25 anime every episode. We just thought we'd have a bit of a reflection on the main titles doing the rounds. Then we're just going to sort of cherry pick our hero anime sort of moving forward from here. So we'll be back to a more regular condensed runtime, but hopefully that gives you a good understanding of what might be worth watching or what might not be worth watching.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited to hear how some of those isekai go.
Yeah, I'll keep his up to date infrequently there. But Courtney, anything else you wanted to mention or shout out before we look to get on out of here?
I sure do. So I'll be heading to KaiCon this weekend, which is Kaiga Convention in Sydney. It's just a huge artist alley. I'm very excited to see what anime merch that the artists are bringing to the literal tables. What about you?
I wanted to shout out Cells at Work, now on Netflix. It is fantastic. It's like a little 12-episode standalone banger. Super enjoyable, very unique concept, and just an easy watch. And it is available in the sub or the dub, so depending on the flavor you want, it is there for you. And then I'll be going to KaiCon in a couple of weeks because it's in Melbourne, I think the second week of February. So I am getting my money ready to throw it on all these artist tables and walk away with so much stuff to fill these walls behind me.
Yes, excellent. And our last little final comment here, guys, is that thanks to Sugoiko, we have been given 2 tickets to Oshinoko, the movie, to give away. So if you would like to win a double pass to go and see the Oshinoko film on the 30th of January, all you need to do is follow Sakura Society on Instagram, like our post, we'll leave a link to that, and tag in the comments who you would take with you to see the Oshinoko film in cinemas.
Hell yeah.
We'll be drawing the winner for that next Sunday, the 26th of January.
Yes, episode 33 will unveil the winner there. But yeah, at the Sakura SOC is the socials. You can find us there. But yeah, link will be directly in the show notes of this episode. Click on through, hit a follow, hit a like, and yeah, let us know who you're bringing along to check out Oshinoko in the cinemas with your popcorn and your boysenberry choc top and your Maltesers and your peanut M&Ms and your Coke or your Pepsi.
So many snacks.
So many snacks. You've got to be comfortable at the cinemas, you know?
It's true.
Yeah, my random tangent before we get out of here. I used to go to the cinemas a lot with my great nan, but she never let me get popcorn. She'd always make me get chips like Doritos.
Oh.
So I couldn't get popcorn, but I'd get Doritos, and she couldn't, like, she said Doritos weird. She'd always call them Doritos. So she'd be like, what flavor Doritos would you like, Brendan? I'm like, I guess cheese supreme again, Nan. Like, can't I have some popcorn? No, get your Doritos, love. And I'm like, fuck. God damn
Doritos,
it. She's lovely,
Doritos
bless her soul.
Brendan.
But yeah, Doritos. It lives on in my heart. But yeah, popcorn always. But if you want Doritos, you do you.
Yep.
But yeah, hit us up on the socials. You can follow us as a collective at the Sakura SOC. You can follow Courtney at Courtney_San, myself at More Than Senpai. Be sure to rate, review, subscribe this podcast on your traditional podcast player of choice, as well as on the video platforms. You can do that on TikTok because the heroic Trump has allegedly saved the day and TikTok is not getting burnt down, but also fuck you, Trump. So follow us on the socials at the Sakura SOC. Chuck us a follow on TikTok, chuck us a follow on Instagram and on YouTube. We're trying to get that YouTube subscriber count up to 1,000 is the goal by June, let's say June 30. June 30, that's 6 months. We want to get to over 1,000 subs by June 30. We're just about to tick over 600. So listeners, viewers, Segoya Squad, if you can do us a solid, head on over to youtube.com/the Sakura SOC. And you can hit a subscribe on that. We're doing a lot of video content. I think our video content at the moment is fantastic. Great stuff, little pocket-sized bites from not only this podcast, but all the standalone stuff we're doing. So check it out. It would mean the world to us.
Please.
Yes, please. Please and thank you. I'll shout you a choc top. No matter what flavor. Yeah, I'll get you a choc top too.
Oh, hell yeah.
Choc tops for everybody. But anyway, listeners, whether you're anime subbed, dubbed, or still yet to come, enjoy yourself and much love to all the gorgeous waifus and husbandos out there. Goodbye.
Mata ne.